Uh, Good morning. Here we go. Time to start the Saturday right. It is a Saturday because look at me. I'm on video. My hair. I need a new wig. My hair growing out is coming, but it's going slow. Hi there, everyone. And what are we going to talk about today? That's a good question. I don't know what to say today. I really don't. Well, first, let me point out here's one of my new prints right here. Right there. Right there. I'm sitting here trying to point on the screen with a cursor, and then I realized you guys can't see this cursor, so what am I doing? Um, that is one of my new Karen Hanlon prints. Hanlon. I had two of them. The other one is right up over my computer here. So maybe next week when I do a video, I'll switch them out and put this one behind. But that's one of the Ghostbuster girls, or a Ghostbuster girl, who says, whenever someone asks you if you're a goddess, you say yes. Yes, of course you do. Because we're all goddesses. Except for the dudes. They're not goddesses. And most of them aren't gods either, but we're all goddesses. Yeah, maybe next week I'll swap the one over my computer. I'll put it behind me so you can see it. But yeah, now I got artwork. Ooh. Two pieces of artwork. I bought it for myself for Christmas. Um, it's my Christmas present to myself. I wanted to have something hanging over my computer, and I wanted to have something on the wall behind me. And, now I've got people going, well, are you going to put anything else up? I don't know. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. Who knows? I'm just in a goofy mood this morning. And I have to go back out. Here's one of my piercings. I had my ears pierced last week. This one's still kind of sore. Okay, get the hair out of the way. This one's still kind of sore. I don't know why. I have that happen. I think it's just like it got messed up a little bit. This one was actually the one that hurt the most when it went in. This one didn't. And for some reason, this one has healed up faster, but this one hasn't. It's still a little red right in this area here. When you touch the ear, it kind of hurts, but not so bad. It was throbbing horribly the other day. But um, this one, the locking ball in the back came out the other night. I don't know how. I just happened to be looking at my ears while I was cleaning them. I was cleaning them off and checking to make certain everything was okay. And then I noticed there's no ball there. There's a locking ball that goes into place, to basically, because after time they could get loose and come out. And so I'm going back in today around noon to have a new locking ball put on. Yes, and those are permanent. I'm not taking those out, so they're in my ears. That went through the cartilage. It hurt. If you're thinking about getting ear piercings like that, it does hurt. Yeah, they told me it usually takes like 6 months for the cartilage to completely heal up. So yeah, it's just one of those things I do. So I have nose piercing right here. Yeah, nose piercing. Now I have two ear piercings. What's next? I have friends who keep telling me I should get a navel piercing, but it would get lost on there. It would be lost in the tsunami of belly fat that I have down in that area. So I think navel piercings are out of the question. No. And then next Saturday, actually right around this time next Saturday, I'll be out in front of a spa getting ready to go in for an all day spa treatment. I'll be in for like nearly 6 hours getting spa'd. I'll be getting a facial. I've never had a facial before, so that's going to be unusual. I'm going to have a facial, and then I'm going to have what they call a body lotion. They're gonna rub stuff all over my body to make it nice and smooth. And then I get an hour massage, yeah. And then I get lunch. And then I get a mani-pedi. So, the mani-pedi and the massage, that's like 3 hours right there. You know. So easily, I think the way they kind of work it out is the body lotion thing probably is like about a half hour. The facial is like a half hour. So there's an hour there. The massage is an hour. The mani-pedi is supposed to be about 2, but it can run longer. And then you get lunch. I get lunch. So I can order whatever I want for lunch. And, that's probably an hour there. You sit and you relax, and I'll be in my robe. I had to tell him I was trans. I took the woman who was taking my order. I said, I need to speak to you in private. And I told her, look, I'm trans. I'm female, except for what most people would consider not female is in the area of my genitalia. So I don't want anyone to get freaked out, when they walk in. And she was like, you just leave your panties on the whole time. Don't worry about it. No one's going to be upset. No one's going to care either. So, just have my panties on, but I'll be naked the rest of the way. This is going to be a new experience for me because I am really body conscious. And, I don't know. But it's my Christmas present to myself. The art and the body stuff. That's my Christmas present to myself. It really is. Really kind of need that. I don't normally celebrate the holidays because it's just me. But this year I wanted to get stuff for myself. I mean, I usually get the body piercings. So, yeah, the ears were pierced, and then I got this, and I'm going off, and I'm going to lay there and have myself pampered. And that might be something I do like once every 6 months. Just go on a pampering thing. Maybe I'll do it after my birthday to celebrate. I'm being goofy today. Okay, so last night, now, you've been keeping up with the blog. I've been like zipping through the novel of late. 10,000 words in 11 days. That's almost 1,000 words a day. And that's a pretty good, crank out, considering I think the last goal between 60,000 and 70,000 took me like 3 weeks. So, yeah, I was really kind of cranking it out there, and Dragon has helped considerably. Plus, I'm not feeling quite as depressed as I was. In fact, I'm probably in better shape right now this year than I have been in the last couple of years at this time. Some of you may or may not know, I was also going to participate in the Women's March on Washington on the 21st of January. But now it looks as if there's this real weird thing that's happened where the National Park Service has actually put out a restraint on anything in DC starting like the beginning of January all the way through to like March. They're saying that we can't get a permit to go before the Lincoln Memorial. We can't march. I don't know what's going to happen. Right now, there are lawyers that are actually speaking with the Park Service over this one because it does look like some of the people in the new administration are doing what they can to limit dissent. Apparently, there was actually going to be a protest the day of the inauguration. There were going to be several protests the days after the inaugurations, and a lot of people are looking at this as it's a way of saying we're going to shut down protest in Washington, D.C. We're not going to allow it, which, yeah, that's one of those other things that people who are fascist uh, try to do to shut down dissent. They don't want us going out there and showing that, well, this ass clown who got elected, basically running on a platform of racism and fascism, is probably the most unpopular person to actually be elected to the office. And now we're finding out today the CIA is saying, hey, Russia definitely was doing some stuff to skew the election. So who knows what's going to happen? We're gonna find out, I guess, in the next couple of days. But you're hearing stories about electors in the Electoral College who are saying now that they're going to flop their votes. So we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. At this point, I can't do anything about it, so I'm not going to worry about it. Naturally, I'm concerned because, we've heard all the stories that all the LGBT protections are going to be scrapped, or as many as they can. So that doesn't make me feel good. Fortunately for now, I still live in a state where I have protection as an LGBT employee. But, who knows what happens after we get a new governor in. That could all go away. That could all go away really fast. Yeah. We'll see. What can I say? I have no control over any of this stuff. All I can do is fight in my own way. So, there you go. And I can write about it in my novel, because who knows, maybe Annie and Carrie will have to do something about this in 2017. Hey, honey, let's get married, and then let's go do something. Who's going to suspect a couple of 17-year-old kids on their honeymoon who could, literally blow people up? They probably will be able to do that by that time. It's just like, and somebody explodes. Yeah. Yeah, it's always nice to fantasize about writing about stuff like that. Who knows what they would do? Who knows what? That's one of the things I'm going to have to work into the future versions of the novel, is how the Foundation is going to react to this. And, of course, this is all a deconstructor plot. If you figure out where I'm going with it, it's all a deconstructor plot. The deconstructors had someone's ear. We know whose ear they had because they love to do that sort of stuff. But yeah, that'll. Now that I'm thinking about it, when I get around to the last novel, that's some of this stuff is going to pop up. It will. It just is going to happen, and we'll see what happens. So. Can't worry about it. But last night, I didn't write quite 1,000. I actually wrote, let me look it up. Let me pull up my program here. Wrote 846 words. Almost, I was just 150 words short of hitting the big 1,000. And a lot of that was because the next part of the scene I'm currently working on, which is the second scene in chapter 7, was really going to get kind of long and involved. And I was writing this at 10:30 last night. So the last thing I wanted to do was rush through a segment that I knew I was going to have to go over and over and over again. And I figured, oh God, I won't get done with this until after 11:30, and I didn't want to do that because I was starting to get tired. Though I sat up and watched television until, oh God, it was about 1:15 midnight when I got done watching TV. I was watching Archer. I've been binging Archer now because it's just insane. It's just insane. The same guy who does the voice of Bob and Bob's Burgers does the voice of Archer, and it's just incredible to see the differences between the two characters and how voice inflection defines who they are. I mean, it's really kind of weird. But that's why voice actors get paid a lot of big bucks, because they can do that sort of stuff. They're really good at it. But it's just a lot of off-colored jokes and stupid situations and things like that. And it's the kind of humor I make no excuses. It's the kind of humor I like. I've just been laughing my way through it because I love off-colored humor and sick, depraved crap. And there is some pretty sick, depraved crap in there. What can I say? Oh well. But yeah, that's. I was up until a quarter after midnight last night watching Archer, putting my time to good use. What can I say? Um, but part of what I was working on last night is I had to work out some calculations. And you won't see them for a while, but really what I was working out is there's a scene in chapter 7, that's the one I'm working on now, where we're dealing with people who are now starting to go through growth spurts. If you looked at the scenes I have for chapter 7, you'll see one of them is called Growing Pains. And that's the one I'm in now. And it has to do with certain characters at school. Now they're 13, 14 years old. Well, they're 13. Nobody's turned 14 yet. You really can't turn 14. You can't have your birthday until after you start. And it's actually Karen Halion. Halon. 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 Oh, I'm screwing her name up. Sorry, Karen. Really. Let me get back to what I was saying. Because this is the first year. Your sea levels is really the first year where you know, you're starting out as a teenager. Everybody started out their B levels as the last of their tweens, and then they turned 13. So your B level is actually your first teenage. It's actually your first teenage level. Although for some students, like Carrie, he has one of the latest birthdays. He's like the last kid in his level to have a birthday. If you can believe that, which is true, he's the last kid in his level to have a birthday. I was like that when I was in school. I was like the last kid in my class to have a birthday. So this year, everybody's turning 14, and this will be the first time that they've come into a level where they start out as a teenager. And so now puberty is really kicking in, and they're starting to go through growth spurts. Um, and that's what we're going to see. I had to work out how much Annie and Carrie have actually grown. I know how tall they actually get by the time they're full grown. They're not Amazons. Let's put it that way. They're actually going to be normal size. But there are some people who have a different genetic legacy. So you're going to run into at least one character they're going to run into who has had a growth spurt, a pretty big one too, and it's going to kind of freak them out, which is normal. Some people do that. Carrie and Annie actually had a growth spurt. They both grew like a couple of inches. So they're not the short kids they were. They're getting taller, but they're still short, but they're getting taller. Um, but no, neither one of them are going to be pushing like 6 feet. That's never going to happen. They're going to be in their mid 5 foots. So around, most of them are going to be around 165 to 170 centimeters. It's 9 o'clock. And I haven't even gotten breakfast. I don't think I will. So I had to sit there and calculate out, how tall they'd been in their B levels and how tall they now were in their C levels, how much they had grown in like 6 months' time. Ding. And that has to be incorporated in. Another thing that I also had to incorporate in, and I've actually been talking it around to get it to work, is Carrie goes through an explanation of how to quickly figure out your height in centimeters. Yes, he has a formula, and it was actually one that I worked on about 5 months, 6 months ago. Actually, yeah, it was like right after, it was like August of this year, right after I started working on a novel, because I'm sitting there thinking about some of the things I was going to do in these future scenes. And in Growing Pains, Carrie comes up with this, he has this kind of like cheater formula for estimating your height in centimeters. And of course, if you can estimate your height in centimeters, you know how tall you are in meters, because it's just a matter of moving the decimal places, 2 places to the left. So if you're 165 centimeters, you're 1.65 meters. Simple. But he comes up with a rather simplified form, and it'll be on the written page. So if anybody wants to calculate how tall they are in centimeters, it's easy to do. And it's all sort of like, it's estimating. But it's also something that you could use for measuring. Like if you know something is 30 inches long, you automatically know that's probably going to be about 75, 76 centimeters. And Carrie will tell you how he knows that. And Carrie will, yeah, he will. He'll show you how he gets there, so. Yeah. You gotta love it. So that's what I was doing. That was one of the reasons why I didn't want to write last night, because by the time I start getting into it, there's 1,000 words right there, and I just didn't want to be like, and then Carrie says blah 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 blah. I slept pretty good last night, so. But today, I don't know what I'm gonna do today. Right. It's the weekend. What do I always do? Yeah, I just want to go out and get my piercing fixed, and then I'll go get lunch. And then after that, oh hell, I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't. I don't have anything planned for today. And I definitely don't have anything planned for tomorrow. I'm saving up my money for next week. Next week's going to be my big time out. I don't know. We'll see. It's also finally gotten cold here. It's only going to get up to 34 today. And let me see. It's going to get up to 34 today and tomorrow. And then we'll get back up into the 40s on Monday. And then this time next week, big drop off. Wednesday, 34 high. Thursday, 27 high. Friday, 22 high. So we are finally getting into the below freezing temps. Constantly. This is not going to be fun, but it's coming. It was chilly yesterday walking home. Good thing I have my new winter coat, because the wind was really whipping yesterday. It was about 36 degrees and the wind was blowing hard. So I needed my winter coat, and I had it. So here we are. We're coming up. It's 24 minutes. I think 25 will be a good place to end up. So you can see me play with my hair for the next few seconds. Oh geez, I don't know. What should I talk about next week? Just ramble like an idiot. But maybe we'll talk about happy cows in California, because I heard they're the happiest. They certainly aren't happy in Indiana. They just produce a lot of methane. So. Oh, gosh. So, well, The writing continues. Let me see. My one goal is I want to reach 100,000 words by the end of the year. So we'll see if that's going to happen. Let's hope. I'll keep my fingers crossed. So, all right, everybody. It's just about that time. Hope you have a good day. Enjoy the weekend. Bye.